Hello and welcome to An Old Man Watches, and today I'm going to be talking about the 2011 superheroic romp Captain America, the First Avenger, from that ancient period of history where people still had doubts that superhero movies were a viable cinematic product. And in the movie, it's World War II in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the sickly, scrawny Steve Rogers is desperate to enlist to fight for the Allied cause. This is not because he wants to kill Nazis, but because he hates bullies and he believes that the only way to stop them is to stand up to them. Unfortunately, Steve's many health issues see him turned down by recruitment officer after recruitment officer. It seems his dream of standing up to the bad guys is impossible. That is, until he meets Dr. Abraham Erskine. You see, Dr. Erskine needs a test subject for a top secret research project, and he is more interested in the character of the man that is chosen than that man's physical prowess. If Erskine's process is successful, it will physically transform Rogers, granting him superhuman musculature and reflexes, a heightened metabolism, and the enhanced neural pathways necessary to handle those changes. Steve might actually be able to put his beliefs into effect. But of course, there are enemies who are determined to see Erskine's project fail, and even people on the Allied side who do not understand what Steve can achieve. So he's just going to have to show them and the Nazis exactly what he can do. So these days, whenever a new Marvel movie hits theatres, you can be pretty sure that I'll get along to see it in the first couple of weeks. But a decade ago, I was one of the skeptics. I saw and thoroughly enjoyed Iron Man, but none of the pitches for the next few films, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, and then this movie, convinced me to pay for a ticket. I ultimately only saw this film on DVD because I thought the upcoming Avengers film looked interesting, and several friends said this movie was a good time. Even after those recommendations, though, I had pretty limited expectations going in. So I was thoroughly delighted with how enjoyable this turned out to be. Captain America, the First Avenger, made it 100% certainty that I would see the Avengers in theatres, and it was a key foundation stone to my current day enthusiasm for new MCU films. So yeah, I liked this a lot. Let's talk about why. Now, first off, you know those pizzas where the extra toppings are just like more kinds of cheese, and then you eat one and your reaction is something like, wow, that's cheesy, but it's still pretty darn good? Well, Captain America, the First Avenger is that pizza in movie form. In fact, it's that pizza with a side of cheesy fries and a platter of cheese and biscuits for dessert. This is not on any level a subtle or nuanced movie. A big reason for that is because Captain America as a character is a shining paragon of virtue and nobility. He embodies the ideal to which the United States aspires, even as the nation itself falls far short of them. And this kind of perfect, untarnished hero is a hard thing to do well. There's a big risk it's going to come across as twee, simplistic, or unconvincing. This movie smartly handles that challenge by leaning into it. It firmly establishes Steve Rogers as a man whose first impulse is to defend and help others, even when to do so is well beyond his capabilities. And then it gives him vastly increased capabilities and lets him live out his wholesome dreams. I mean, it's total wish fulfillment, but it has heart, and it works really well. Strong casting choices have always been a key part of the success of the Marvel films, and that was really important here, and the casting team did their usual great job. Steve Rogers is a man who is intrinsically noble, compassionate, and kind. While he's not afraid to fight in defense of his ideals, he's also a man who instinctively rejects the idea that might makes right, and who always seeks to do the most good. In other words, Rogers is a character who could easily seem false or implausible. But Chris Evans portrays him with a seemingly natural conviction and a genuine sense of humility. This was vital to the success of this movie, as far as I'm concerned, so huge kudos both to him and to the casting team. Kudos also to the casting team for their persistence. Apparently Evans took some convincing before he ultimately agreed to take the role. And Evans is not alone here. The other central major players ably complement him. Hayley Atwell displays composure, grace, and steely but not cold resolve as MI6 agent Peggy Carter. Sebastian Stan offers good camaraderie as Rogers' longtime friend Bucky Barnes. The film even offers a reasonably solid villain, something that the MCU doesn't always achieve, though it has to be said the role doesn't exactly force Hugo Weaving to stretch himself all that much. Now, I think that Marvel films generally have three core strengths. The great casting that I've already discussed, a strong line in fun dialogue, and the final thing that I wanted to discuss today, which is excellent action scenes. Now, As you'd expect, the action in this film is dynamic, varied, and spectacular. The choreography is excellent, stunt work impressive. But the key to Marvel's action formula is that it is more than just spectacle. In my mind, to be truly excellent, an action scene needs to tell a narrative and emotional story. And this is something that the MCU films have generally done very well, and the same is true here. Steve Rogers' first chase and fight scene after he gets his powers isn't just visually sumptuous, dynamic, and imaginative. It contributes to the evolution of the Captain America persona, and it illustrates the mindset of the man who will ultimately put on the mask. It is telling you a story, not just filling up time with spectacle. End-to-end, Captain America: First Avenger is a really, really solid and hugely enjoyable superheroic adventure. Next time, the 1985 offering Night Train to Terror. You've heard of Frankenstein's monster? Well, this is a case of Frankenstein's movie, cobbled together from parts of 3 other films. But that's next time. Until then, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.